10 top things to do in Cinque Terre. Whenever I think of the Italian Riviera, Cinque Terre comes to mind. The rugged, crescent-shaped Mediterranean coastline, straddled between the south of France and Tuscany, is home to epic cliffs, turquoise waters, and the most colorful fishing villages I have ever seen. I fell in love with Cinque Terre from the moment I arrived. It's one of the most beautiful places in Italy. Today, I want to share with you the top 10 things I did while visiting. Whether on a day trip or staying a few nights, I hope this list helps you make the most of your time there. Number 1. Visit all 5 villages of Cinque Terre. The 5 villages of Cinque Terre are Riomaggiore, Manarola, Corniglia, Vernazza, and Monterosso. You can visit the villages via train or hike from town to town, as they are all connected. I recommend staying at least a couple of nights in Cinque Terre so you can experience what each village has to offer. All 5 villages are very unique, boasting epic-looking beaches, a landscape to die for, and a chill, relaxed vibe. Number 2. Stop by one of the many churches in Cinque Terre. There's something mystical about church bells ringing in a seaside small town setting. Time stands still, and goosebumps creep up as you begin to feel the serenity of the neo-Gothic space. Add to that jaw-dropping views and a lively village, and you will have a more than perfect day. These black and white stone churches can be found in all 5 villages. You'll even find stone chapels as you walk down the streets. I want to take you now to one of my favorite churches in Monterosso. I love the faded grayish stripes against the yellow walls, framed by all the trees nearby. I think that's what draws me to the churches in Cinque Terre. They don't seem pretentious. They have character and charm. I was fascinated by those bold black and white stripes. As soon as I saw them in pictures, I knew I had to visit them in person. I find that architectural style avant-garde and beautiful. Even though some of these churches date back to the 1300s, they felt so fresh and cool to me. And something that I'm just not used to seeing when I travel abroad and visit churches. These are striking and beautiful. Number 3, dine with a bird's eye view of Cinque Terre. There are so many fantastic restaurants that offer amazing views. We have our favorite ones in each village. I even made a foodie guide to Cinque Terre where we share all our favorite spots we dined at. But eating with a view and having cocktails as the sun sets overlooking the sea is just magical, and Cinque Terre offers the perfect backdrop for that. Number 4, try a fried fish cone. We first became obsessed with these in Venice, and as soon as I saw them in Cinque Terre, I knew they would be my go-to snack while visiting the villages. They are so good. Number 5, take a boat tour or rent a kayak. There are so many incredible tours you can take. I am going to link my favorite ones below. Seeing Cinque Terre on foot and then from a boat gives you a different perspective of all 5 villages. And the scenery is just out of this world. I highly recommend taking a boat tour and enjoying your time by the sea. Number 6, go hiking. Hiking is a must when visiting Cinque Terre. You do have to pay to hike the trails, but they use the money as a donation to the park to keep it clean and safe for hikers. When we went to Cinque Terre, we decided to hike from the village of Corniglia to Vernazza. Our hike took about 2 hours because we stopped along the way to get some fresh squeezed lemon juice. There are little shops and restaurants where you can stop if you get too tired and want a break from hiking. In Cinque Terre, you can hike from village to village. By foot, visiting all 5 villages would take about 6 hours. Now, if you're wondering which hike is best for you, here's a breakdown. The easiest hike is from Riomaggiore to Manarola, which only takes about 30 minutes, and it's nicknamed Lover's Lane because it feels more like a romantic stroll rather than a hike. The trail is paved and flat, so it's easy to complete. For an easy hike that's twice as long, you can take the trail from Manarola to Corniglia. This trail takes about an hour to complete. For a moderate hike, you can take the path from Corniglia to Vernazza, which takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete, or the Vernazza to Monterosso trail for a more challenging hike. What makes this hike challenging is the steep steps leading up and down along the way. This is considered the most scenic hike out of all. Before visiting, I recommend checking their website for updated information on which trails are open, as they sometimes close them for general maintenance. I'll add the link to the description box with the hiking trail info. We loved the hike and welcomed the challenge. We want to come back and hike all the 5 villages. If you decide to do that though, I recommend spending at least 4 days in Cinque Terre so that you can have a couple of rest days, as the hike can be tiring, especially with the heat of the sun. I am going to link below our favorite apartment rental in Riomaggiore and other family-run budget-friendly places to stay in all of the other villages. You don't need hiking boots. Hiking sandals did just fine for me. Even if you're not planning on doing a lot of hiking, these are great for visiting places like Lake Como or the Amalfi Coast, where there are a lot of elevated cobbled streets and alleyways. I'll link them below as well in case you're looking for comfortable hiking shoes that don't need much breaking in. I wore these sandals all over Italy and I love them. They provided support and balance to my foot while I was doing all these hikes and backpacking in Italy in general. It doesn't get any more photogenic than this, you guys. Moments like this make me fall in love with Cinque Terre, one of my favorite places to visit in Italy. Number 7. Walk through the vineyards and go wine tasting. When you walk through Riomaggiore, you can see the vertical slopes of vines, which is really cool. It was my first time visiting a vineyard so elevated and close to the sea. The wine locally produced in Cinque Terre carries the natural elements of wind, sun, salt, and water. The vines are not grown on a wall, but laying down at a maximum height of 1 meter. Most of the vines are vines of white grapes like Bosco, Alvarola, and Vermentino. Cinque Terre is known for its dry white table wine as well as its sweet dessert wines, but you can also find red wine. If you want to do a wine tasting while visiting, one of my favorite shops is Amare, which also has a fantastic assortment of local beers. If you're staying for a few days, you can also pick up some items to cook dinner at this shop. You can take several wine tasting and vineyard tours in Riomaggiore that are really great. I'll link my favorite ones in the description box below for those of you who are exploring the area for a couple of days. Number 8. Take a cooking class. The region of Cinque Terre is known for its focaccia and pesto. And if you've ever wanted to learn how to make pesto from scratch, this is the perfect place to do so. Here, you'll learn techniques that you'll take back home with you, and I guarantee you will never repurchase a can of pesto. You'll make it yourself, and as a result, your cooking will get so much better. I get so many compliments now when I just make a simple pasta because I make the pesto from scratch. It's crazy, but it's so much fun because then it takes me back to my time in Italy and how much fun I had just learning how to cook. If you're not into pesto, there's a tasty and fun tiramisú class that I highly recommend. I'll link them both in the description box. Another thing I love about these cooking classes is that you're cooking and drinking local wine while you cook. That was so much fun. It's just a good time because you're telling stories and cooking and drinking wine and just being in the moment, which is great. Number 9, have a beach day in Monterosso. If you want to enjoy the beach while in Cinque Terre, Monterosso is my village of choice. There's a free section of the beach where you can lay your towel on the sand, or you can rent an umbrella with 2 day beds and just spend the entire day in Monterosso. Monterosso has the only real beach setting with fine sand. Vernazza did too, but we just love the beach in Monterosso so much better. The water is clear and it's just a beautiful beach. It was our favorite beach, hands down, in Cinque Terre. Look at that water. Look at that sand. What more do you want? Number 10. Enjoy the sunset in Riomaggiore. Riomaggiore is my favorite village in Cinque Terre. It's just so scenic how all the buildings are stacked on top of each other, and watching the sunset from above is nothing but magical. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Until next time.